Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why you need a lawyer if you've been involved in a car accident or any type of personal injury case here in Arizona. And before I start, I also have a video about why you don't need a lawyer. I'll put that up in the card on the cases when you're involved in a car accident when you don't need a lawyer. If you're new to the channel, my name is Darren Woodfork and I'm an attorney here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been practicing law here for about 25 years now. And on this channel, I just basically give you some tips and advice on kind of what to expect if you've been involved in a car accident here in Arizona. And today, again, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why you need a lawyer. I'm going to be talking about, first of all, we can answer all the questions that you possibly have. Second, you'll have some leverage as far as, involved in litigation. And then third, we can help reduce your medical bills when it's all said and done. So the first thing, the first reason I think really why you should hire a lawyer if you've been involved in a car accident is that we can answer any questions that you have regarding the accident, whether that's what type of doctors you should see, how do you get your car fixed, all those things surrounding your questions, because normally this is going to be your first car accident. We have been dealing with 4,000, 5,000 car accidents. So we can answer all your questions. I sometimes joke kind of like tongue-in-cheek that lawyers, we're not magicians, but we are fortune tellers. We can't change facts. We can't do anything like that. But we can tell you based on our experience and all the cases we've had before, kind of what's going to happen in your case. And specifically, that's kind of like what the value of your case is. If you come in with certain type of injuries and we're dealing with a certain insurance company and we're dealing in Arizona juries, Arizona arbitrators, things like that, we can pretty much know within a few thousands of dollars, how much the case would be worth in court. So we can tell you all those answers based on our experience. So I think really that's the number one benefit of hiring a lawyer if you've been involved in a car accident. And I know if you watch TV and you see all the advertisements and all that, they talk about how they'll fight for you and get you all the money and all that stuff. But every lawyer says that. What not every lawyer does though is not every lawyer communicates with their clients. And I'll put this in the card that this is the number one complaint against lawyers to the state bar, our licensing administration. The number one complaint to the state bar by people is that their lawyers don't call them back. And that's the lack of communication is the number one bar complaint. Not that they're not fighting for you like they say on the advertisements on TV. Not that they don't get you the amount of money that they say on TV. No, on TV they never talk about that they call you back and they communicate with you and they answer all your questions. And that's that's such a needed service by the lawyers, because like I said, we have the experience. We know kind of what your situation is about. So for my money, that's the number one reason why you need a lawyer. Is a lawyer will call you back and answer your questions. The second reason why you would need a lawyer, and that is kind of what you probably see on TV, you see on every commercial, every billboard, everything, is that when you hire a lawyer in a car accident case, you do have some leverage involved in the negotiation and in the resolution of your case. Yes, you could always do the case by yourself. You could just get all your medical bills and then ask the insurance company for some pain and suffering on top of that and some lost wages. You can do all that on your own, really. But they're not going to treat you. They're not going to take you seriously. They're not going to give you the most amount for your case. And the difference is basically they might give you $1,000 worth. Your case might be worth $100,000 or $50,000, something like that. So when you do hire a lawyer, you do have leverage in that if the insurance company doesn't settle with you fairly, then you can sue and go to court. You can do the trial, and then you can ask the jury for the appropriate verdict or appropriate amount. And the insurance companies know that. In fact, the insurance companies kind of know the lawyers around town who can do a trial, who go to trial, They know they're kind of keeping book basically on the lawyers who litigate and the lawyers who settle for nothing. They take the first offer that the insurance company gives, and that's it. They don't fight for their clients. The insurance companies know that, and that's why they lowball the offers. In fact, in the last probably 10 years, 15 years, there's been so many law firms in town that do take the first offer in a car accident case that the insurance companies now give all of us low offers because they think we'll just take it. But like I said, all the time, if the insurance company gives your client, if they give my client a offer that's unreasonable, we have no problem filing the lawsuit, doing the discovery, doing the depositions, and trying the case if we have to. So that's the second reason why you need a lawyer, so that you have that leverage to litigate if you have to, because that is your remedy. If you can't settle with the insurance companies for a fair amount, you can go to court. The final reason, and this is a pretty big reason, it's not well known, but it is definitely one of the biggest benefits, I think, to you for hiring a lawyer to help you in your car accident case, is that at the end of the case, when you do settle, you're going to get a pot of money for your medical bills, for your pain and suffering, for your lost wages. Well, when you get that pot of money, you're responsible for paying back your medical bills. And so if those medical bills are, say, like $20,000, as personal injury lawyers here, we can help you get that $20,000 reduced down to $10,000, maybe even $5,000. So that difference between $20,000 and $10,000 is, that $10,000 you keep in your pocket. So at the end of the case, when you have like the settlement for $100,000, you're supposed to pay back the hospital for $20,000. If we get that reduced down to $10,000, that's an extra $10,000 that you keep in your pocket. And so that is another benefit of hiring a lawyer to handle your car accident case here in Arizona. And in most of the times we do. Once we settle the case, we will ask the hospital or chiropractor or the physical therapist or somebody like that to reduce their medical bill so that gets more money into your pocket. And again, I think that's a big benefit of hiring a lawyer to handle your car accident case. And I will say the kind of like the opposite in the worst case scenario of this when it comes to medical bills is that sometimes people try to handle the case on their own. They don't hire a lawyer. And so what the insurance company does when they know somebody doesn't have a lawyer is they'll go to the hospital directly and try to get that medical bill reduced, and then come back to the client and say, here's some pain and suffering on top of that reduced amount of medical bills or the hospital bill or whatever whatever in my hypothetical. So you can see how bad that will work for the client. I mean, if the client has, a $5,000 chiropractor bill and they're trying to handle the case on their own, that case may be, worth $15,000, $20,000. But if they're handling it on their own, then the insurance company is going to go to the chiropractor directly, in the very beginning and say, look, you have a $5,000 bill. We need you to reduce that down to $2,000. And so then if the chiropractor does, then they have a $2,000 bill, and then the insurance company goes back to the injured victim and says, we'll pay for your chiropractor bill of $2,000, and we'll give you another $1,000 on top of that for pain and suffering, and they give the client $3,000. And so that's, so they give them $3,000 when the case is really worth $15,000 or $20,000, only because they tried to do it on their own and they didn't hire counsel. So again, that medical bills issue, that third reason why you should hire a lawyer, I think is a pretty big one. Not as important as the first one for sure. You need your lawyer to communicate with you. You need your lawyer to call you back. You need your lawyer to answer your questions. That's the number one benefit of hiring a lawyer. And then second, like I said, is the leverage of going to court. And then finally, like I said, at the end of the case, we can help redo your medical bills. So hope that helps. Again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Darren Woodfork. I do personal injury work here in Arizona. I also seal cases, old criminal cases here in Arizona. If you have any questions, please check out my website at woodforklaw.com or shoot me an email at derronw@msn.com. And I'll leave all that in the description below, all my contact information below. So thank you for watching. And like I said, I had those two videos earlier up in the card about the #1 bar complaint, which is lack of communication. And then also I have the video about when you don't need a lawyer in a car accident case. And that's really if you have a small case. That's when you don't need a lawyer. But hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.